Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Claudette Lajam from NYU Langone Orthopedics, and we'll be talking about human versus AI authorship in orthopedics. I don't have any relevant disclosures for this topic. So by way of background, there are a lot of different elements to AI when we're talking about writing and language. So the biggest, broadest field is natural language processing, which is NLP. But today we're talking more about large language models, which are included under the umbrella of NLP. So using these large language models like ChatGPT, you have to understand what they are. ChatGPT is a free online tool. It's by OpenAI, and it's powered by something called GPT-3 and now GPT-4, and this was released in 2022. And what's significant about this is that we have access to this technology now, so it's raised questions about their being used as authors in scientific writing and whether they have accuracy and whether there are ethical issues. So ChatGPT has passed the U.S. medical licensing exam. There's lots of things that are in the news about it in terms of playing a role in medical publishing and medical education. So one of the questions we have is about accuracy. So these AIs can generate text, but those texts are not accurate. They're called hallucinations. They may be outdated content. They may be fabricated content. And why is because ChatGPT and these types of LLMs don't directly access the internet, so they can't get up-to-date information. They only have what's already been put into their training models. So why don't they have internet access? So OpenAI, the organization behind these GPT models, doesn't allow direct access for a few reasons. One is for privacy and security, because they don't want the bot to accidentally access private or confidential information. And also reliability concerns. Is some of this information not true? Is it just appearing and then disappearing from the internet? And is it influencing the answers that you get out of the bot? And then I think more importantly is manipulation and abuse. Malicious people can, knowing that these AIs are going to use the internet, can add things to the internet and take them away to try to influence answers that are given by this technology. And then we have the question of, when we use LLMs for authorship, can we speak to their accountability, transparency of where they get the information, whether there's bias included in the training models, and whether or not there's going to be questions about the medical community as a whole. Are scientific writers going to be out of a job? So there's a lot of ethical questions about using these models. There's something called the stochastic parrot. What that means is stochastic means random and parrot means just repeating things. And one study compared AI to human scientific writing, and the AI was just given the journal title and the article title, and it found the study found that the AI generated content was just mostly fabricated. So it was just randomly parroting stuff that it had in its training model, and it didn't actually have accurate content. So you have to be worried about this when you use LLMs for scientific writing. So essentially, if you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. So who's an author? The ICJME says that an author requires 4 things to be true. One is that author contributes to the conception, design of the work, drafting and reviewing the work, final approval of the published version, and then agreeing to be accountable for the accuracy and integrity of that work. And these things are not fulfilled by chatbots, just like ChatGPT. They shouldn't be listed as authors because they can't be responsible for these things. But can we as reviewers even tell the difference between human and AI-generated content? If provided with the right data, could an AI, their writing, replace human writing? So we decided to test this out. We did a study here. Our primary aim was to compare source confidence between human and AI-written arthroplasty abstracts, meaning could we tell the difference between humans or AI written abstracts. And our secondary aims were to evaluate the effectiveness and quality of those abstracts between AI and human writing. There was a blinded comparison, human written versus AI generated abstracts. And these were English-speaking abstracts in high-impact journals published in the time that the GPT had access to, fewer than 15 citations, and nothing that was in-house authored that we would recognize. And we compared 20 human versus 20 AI-generated abstracts, and the AI abstracts were generated from the full text manuscript. And we gave the AI commands to write these as abstracts. And the human written ones were directly taken from the published manuscripts. So this was a blinded review. 6 fellowship-trained surgeons did the review. And it was graded, each abstract was graded for authorship confidence, communication effectiveness, and quality. And these were our statistical analyses. So what did we find? Well, in terms of knowing which entity wrote the manuscript, there was a trend towards higher confidence when a human wrote the abstract, but it wasn't statistically significant. Human-written abstracts did have significantly higher confidence scores in general, and you can see our knee arthroplasty abstracts seem to have much more confidence in the human authorship. In terms of effectiveness, there was a modest trend toward better communication in human-written abstracts, but there was significantly higher communication effectiveness in human-written methods and results sections across the boards. For overall quality, human-written abstracts rated higher in overall quality, but separately between the TKA and THA abstracts, there was not significance, but there was a trend for quality. So in the end, did the human win? Yes. So can ChatGPT learn how to be more human? So I asked it, if it could, if we taught it how to be more human in terms of writing. And it told me that it was not capable of learning or adapting writing style. And it based all of its text on patterns and information that were in its training models up until September 2021 and can't adapt or learn in real time. However, we can improve what we get as an output by using better prompts. And there are a few places you can play around with these LLMs and chatbots. One of them is the OpenAI Playground, and this is what it looks like here, and it's available if you have a subscription to the OpenAI. You can change the temperature, which means how creative you want the AI to be on a scale of 0 to 1. So a lower score is less creative, so it'll keep generating the same response. And a higher score, you have some more flexibility, and it will generally generate different responses each time you ask it. So 0.7 is usually where most cases are placed for this. And then you can also control how long you want the response and prompt to be. So if you notice it keeps stopping when you're asking questions, you might want to increase your length. So here are some tips for better prompts that were taken from one of my NYU journals. Offer context, give it more detail when you're asking it what to do, and it will give you a better output. Include helpful information up front. So for instance, if you're trying to write a speaker bio, paste in the CV of the person you're writing about, and it will help you write that bio. Give examples to the AI. You can tell them what you like and what you don't like, so it will not do what you ask it not to do, and it'll try to do what you're asking it to do. Tell them how long you want their response to be. If you say, I want between 500 and 750 words, it'll try to do that. You can also give it an exact word count. You can also specify the output you want. So if you want it to write a Python code, you can tell it to do that. But you also should tell it what you're giving it. So if you're giving it CSV and you want to output something else, tell them what you're giving it and tell them what you want. You can also ask AI to help you draft your prompt. So you can use GPT as a brainstorming tool. So please generate an ideal prompt for this, and it will do it for you. It will help you. You can use guidance phrasing. So certain phrases can help guide the AI's thought process by telling it, I want you to think step by step, or I want you to write in the style of something, or I want you to go from the perspective of some role when you're writing your response. So that goes to the 8th tip, and that's designate a point of view for the GPT to maintain during the session. So you can say, I want you to answer as if you are an expert baker or market researcher or engineer or surgeon or whatever it is that you want. So the take-home points here is that these large language models do have high potential for use in scientific writing, but there are still some questions about accuracy and ethics. And there's not that much research comparing human versus AI authorship and whether or not AI authorship can help humans write better articles. And we found in our study that reviewers may prefer human writing over AI, but that experience in using these LLMs and chatbots can actually improve your output, so you can practice and probably make them better, but it's unclear whether you'll make them the same. So thank you very much for your attention, and we'll be available for questions later on.